Guys, shit's fucked for real, and it's hilarious. Okay, so maybe I'm one of those internet autists that spend a lot of time looking at the news and watching things, and maybe I've done this since I was 20, and maybe I'm about 45 now. Maybe I know what I'm talking about with some things. And if there's one change I want you all to see, look very closely at this. Everyone is only interested in the rich. The rich threw down some kind of crazy stuff to make us all fight each other. And if we can stop fighting each other long enough, we can look around and we can find out people benefiting from all of this stuff are rich groups. Everyone, you got money, it's okay. You got money. There are a lot of people that make money from mommy and daddy. Like, legitimately, I can say that because we all know that you can't get a house these days without mommy and daddy. And if you think otherwise, then your house was given to you by family. More than 3% of your house was given to you by family. I've had this argument with multiple people. Nobody wants to talk about truth anymore. Nobody wants to talk about finance, how much money they make. We're not supposed to do any of this stuff, but it's because we haven't done this that we are in this position that we're in. Nobody has any money. We can't afford anything anymore. And the people who have it and are doing okay are just keeping silent because they want what they have. This all seems to come from two giant issues, which are part of the corporate religion. And this religion says that you will not let your kids hang out with people in a different class system than you. The other was an argument that Henry Ford had with, I think it was shareholders. Yes, he wanted to pay his people more, but his shareholders said, no, you have to pay us more. Then it went to court, and the Supreme Court, I think it was Supreme Court, ultimately said, yeah, it's all about shareholders. So right now, shareholders have to make all of the money. All of the money. Landlords have so much money, but if you really want to make money, put it in the S&P 500 because it won't go bad. The reason why it won't go bad is because there are so many stopgap measures everywhere within the stock market in order to make sure that nothing can happen. We on the internet, we had Citadel and Melvin Financial Corner tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you know who these two groups are? We had them cornered. They had more stocks in GameStop than were actually supposed to exist. More stocks shorted. How can this be? At this point, most working class people kind of turn off because I'm talking about complicated things that they don't understand or they don't want to think about, and it's unconscionable. So therefore, this stuff doesn't exist. Nevin Brown is just an internet conspiracy theorist, right? Yeah. Let's not listen. Let's not look into any of this stuff. The thing is, your lives are still okay because your mortgage is still less than rent. It's still less than rent. Now, we are in a position as adults where the children can no longer get houses that are even they can't even get rent that's at the same price as mortgages, and we are monsters as adults and leaders because of this, because it is our personal responsibility to make sure that the future has a way to survive, and it simply doesn't now because of that. We are monsters now. When World War II started, which is what got us out of the Depression, this is real. Canada got out of a depression because of World War II. My grandpa went from owning a gas station to working with nitroglycerin because it could pay so much more. Now, the people that were paying him, did they have the money to pay him this? No, no. They got this given to the they it was a loan. Guess who has to pay back that loan? Now, when my grandpa came back, the money was great in North America. The money was great in North America because we had smashed. Europe had crushed each other by smacking each other with their cocks over and over again. So we were the most productive place. Yes, yeah, my dad, who says that you should work for everything. He didn't give me anything to go to post secondary. He gave me nothing. I have to. I have to give money to my children after the divorce. I have to. Law says I have to. My dad was given a sports car, a TR3, handed to him when he was 21 years old. He was handed a second car because my grandpa worked for a nurse and he had to do autopsies. And after seeing all the messed up stuff that happened on car accidents, he wouldn't touch a car, so he gave my dad a car. I did not own a car until I was 41. Boomers. Stop with this bullshit of sometimes if God closes a door, it opens a window. Sometimes, and this has happened historically, there are situations where people in God's name have made churches in new places only to have those new places not like them and to hide in these new churches, and for the people in the that coming after them just to burn them down in the churches. Yeah, there might be an open door or an open window, but there's nothing but fire out there. Like, no, so this is real. This is the future that we've given to our children. This is unsustainable. We're all going to die if we keep this up. We're all going to die because we can't sustain it. And the people at the top are going to have everything, and the people at the bottom are going to have nothing. The people at the bottom are all going to die, and there's going to be a lot of human suffering. And that means that good people are supposed to take action. The only thing necessary to stop good, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Edmund Duke. Of what worth is it to a man if he gains his world and loses his own soul? Oh, wait, that's from the Bible. That was written by a white man, right? Like, you can't say anything about, hey, maybe if I find a quote like that comes from Muslims, we'll all love it more because the feminists will be more into that. Maybe if I find some interesting Indian thing, the feminists will be all into that, but meanwhile, they've never heard of the action of sati, S-A-T-I. Guys, maybe all religions are equally bad regardless of colonialism. I'm good with words, but y'all making up so many new words these days is making my head spin. Covert narcissism. So now all of the things that I said are all actual problems. A lot of you know they're actual problems, but here's the interesting thing. Most of you would rather comment on how crazy my hair is, on how I'm not washed, on this is a good one, on how I don't have front teeth. So if I don't have front teeth, then the things that I say can't be accurate, right? The information that I give you is inaccurate. Now, all that the government has to do is be stoic and not do anything, and everything will be fine. And your little ass that doesn't vote, that doesn't do anything, that doesn't support, though maybe you support, maybe you contribute a little bit, but then you just get to think everything's okay because that's the default and that's the way things are supposed to go. But hey, sometimes things aren't okay. So before the wars, World War One and Two, there was something called the Gilded Age. But that comes from such a long time ago, and we could never go back to something like that because we're good and we've learned and we're not like that. Guess what? We're going right back into it. We're going right back into it. One of the big things that got the Gilded Age out of the way is that there was a kid that was supposed to incinerate information. He starts going through the information, learns the information that's been given to him are from monopolies. Monopolies. American monopolies are actually spending money trying to keep the lower person down. He gives this information on to a reporter, and I want to say it was Theodore Roosevelt's daughter or something like that, but she was a really important person. She takes this stuff out to labor. Labor, by the way, the Labor Party has done way more for you than any soldier of any nation has ever done. Well, of our nation, the US nation. I shouldn't say I'm part of that, but literally, labor. Labor went through so much to give us an 8-hour workday because otherwise the people who have all the money would act like they deserve for you to be slaving away forever. No, we deserve rights. We deserve rights, and as a community, we deserve to share wealth in a way that we all work reasonably, but we all get paid reasonably too. I'm not saying go all frickin' communist like the people who are rich are stealing the means to production. I'm not definitely not saying that. That was a horrible situation. But literally, guys, the system that we have set up is unsustainable. And unless we break it, which we're terrified of doing, it's all on housing and we are putting more money into the system to make this work, but it's only working for one class. We are putting so much money into the bond market of housing. But this stuff isn't going to work, guys. Our children are literally going to die if we keep this up. Now, I'm not saying we'll be killing them directly, but indirectly we will be because they'll be living in tent cities with people with mental problems who can't afford to take care of these problems. Addiction will become worse because the drugs are becoming amplified because the people who created them told us they weren't going to hurt us, but they did. And guess what? These people are the richest of the rich. They don't mind killing us. Guys, we got to come together on this one.